Welcome to Unit 1. I hope by now that you've looked at the syllabus. I'd like for you to particularly understand how the course is structured, how the grading occurs, and what items are worth, all right? Everything you do in this course is worth quite a bit. Everything counts, in other words. If you'll look at the discussions in the syllabus, you'll notice that there are 3 of them and that they're worth a total of 100 points out of 900 points. Okay, that's quite a bit. There's 5 learning journals. These are your reflections at the end of every unit where you actually reflect on the YouTube clips that you watch, on the movies that you're thinking and reading about. Those learning journals are each worth 100 points to add up to 500 points out of the course total of 900 points. There's 6 quizzes. They're worth a total of 100 points. Then last but not least, at the end of the unit, you're going to write a film analysis, and that is worth 200 points out of the 900 points. So it behooves you to do a very good job on everything that you turn in, please, okay? And I'll talk more about that. I want to help you. I want you to get a good grade in this class. That's the entire goal. This course should be fun. It should help teach you critical thinking, and you should get a good grade. That's the bottom line, okay? So the movies that we're watching, this particular unit, are Apocalypse Now, okay, Francis Ford Coppola. Crazy good movie, all right? If you've not seen it, you're really going to enjoy it. It has terrific rock and roll music in it. It features The Doors, among others, all right? The actors features Marlon Brando. He's pretty well washed up by this time. You don't see a lot of him. It features Martin Sheen from West Wing nowadays, okay, or you know, earlier on. Became very famous from this movie and then went on to a lengthy career with West Wing as a president of the United States. Also features Robert Duvall of innumerable terrific movies, okay? And then it also features Lawrence Fishburne from the crime scene investigator from CSI, from CBS's CSI, okay? So quite a few people got their start with this movie, all right? The other movie is Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid. A terrific Western, but guess what? It's not a Western, it's an analogy of the Vietnam era. I think you'll there's a lecture in there in your learning module. You need to look at that lecture very carefully and think about Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid as being more than just a Western. Right? It's very important that you see that. And this is one of the things that goes on with movies. Sometimes they're very, very symbolic. All right. Nearly every movie that we're watching has some kind of cultural background, has some kind of historical background, and all literature, all art is placed within a larger context. And we try to spend some time exploring that so you get the full understanding of the movie, what it actually means within the context of the times, okay? And we're trying to pick out movies that sort of have a universal time frame where, although they're located and grounded in a specific time, they teach us something about ourselves or something about the larger society throughout all the way up into the present time that we're in, okay? Good war movies, for example, tell us stories about wars, both past, present, and future. So that's sort of one of the goals of this course, is to be thinking about the meaning, about what's actually going on, okay? So I want to tell you what the secret to the learning journals are. I need a lot of specifics, a lot of details, a lot of examples. That's what good writing is all about, and all of this is not a writing course. It is a critical thinking course, and I want you to think about these movies in terms of specifics, in terms of examples, in terms of illustrations. So I expect to see all that in your journals. One thing that's fun to think about when you're viewing Apocalypse Now are 2 things that I've noticed from my own military experience, which is nowhere near as extensive as what's going on here, but still I'm rooted, my background's in that experience. First of all, war is art. When you see the napalm pictures from the helicopters, dropping napalm from the jets, the helicopters are watching, and the music's playing in the background, that is war as an art form. That's what this entire movie's about, okay? And then the other thing it's about is boys and toys. War is fun, all right? Jefferson Airplane, driving a tank, right? Driving a tank is fun. Dangerous, but fun. Flying a helicopter, fun. Dangerous, but fun, all right? I don't think being a grunt on the ground is terribly a lot of fun, okay? But there's a lot of elements here. Even in basic training, I love basic training, okay? You know, I got to fire an M14, I got to shoot an M16, I got to shoot a shotgun, I got to throw hand grenades. I think I had some experience with mortars, bazookas, you name it, okay? It was a lot of fun doing all those kinds of things. Those are very cool toys, okay? Which is one of the appeals of war, which is really too bad, All right, but that's kind of one of the very subtle things going on there. All this heroism and get to play with toys and stuff. And I think Apocalypse Now really frames that, really gets into that. And my background, you may know by now, is in photography. That's what I did in the Army. And I've read a lot about photography. And there's a famous British war correspondent who started off as a hippie traveling around the world and landed in Vietnam accidentally. I just, showed up there and started hanging out in the bars. He didn't even know there was a war going on, and started hanging out with helicopter pilots. And they saw he had a camera that kept saying, "Hey, you ought to come along with us," And he wrote in his memoirs, he said he couldn't believe how much fun it was. All right, I mean, it was scary, it was dangerous, he saw people die, but he said the exhilaration of this was like overwhelming, and so he could really see the allure of this. So I'm not trying to promote that, but I'm saying you're going to see that in Apocalypse Now, okay? So I think I've rattled on long enough. Bottom line is pay a lot of attention to your learning journal. As I said, they're worth 500 points out of 900 points in the class. I'm expecting to see a lot of detail, a lot of description, a lot of examples, a lot of specific references to the movies that you watch. And all of this is going to help you write your 200-point paper at the end of the class. Write it well, because all along you're practicing critical thinking, you're practicing description, detail, and examples. All right, and you're thinking about the movies in the same way that you need to think about your final paper for the final unit. All right, so all this is building up. There are no what do you call it? There's no tangents. There's nothing that's a waste of time. Everything's connected. And then also let me mention that there are 3 discussions. I said that already. This first discussion this week is very important. It's really a critical thinking discussion. I'm asking you to think about what your 3 favorite movies are, and not just say what they are, but say why they're your favorite. What about them made them really work well for you? Then as part of the discussion experience, I want you to go in and visit with peer, all right, respond to a peer, talk about what you think about their movies, and kind of go back and forth on that. And that's how you get the full grade for discussion, is about interacting with a peer. So please ask questions, ask them early, ask them often. Do not wait till Sunday night to do your work. I can't help you Sunday night, okay? I read my email Monday through Friday all day long, okay? I don't read it on the weekends. So you cannot wait till the weekends to get in there and say, oh gosh, I got a question, I don't understand something. You can't do that. Internet courses don't work that way, okay? If you wait till Sunday night to do your work, you will not get a good grade in this class. There's way too much work. So please start early in the week, pace yourself, work steadily, work progressively. When you have questions, ask me, use the quick mail feature, comes to my email, I'll get it. So hey, enjoy the course, all right? It's a lot of fun, and particularly enjoy these first 2 movies. Thanks.